Okay, I just wanted to do a quick introductory talk about the internet. What I've been doing over the last few weeks is to actually find issues that arise when you're using certain web browsers. I work on a Macintosh, and for some reason, I'm assuming because it's a designer's tool, everything seems to work fine on Macintosh. What we do is we get little issues arising when we turn into a PC. Big problem is I didn't want to buy a PC to do any of this web development, even though it's important probably to test it. And another big issue on top of all that is that simply using Internet Explorer, which is unfortunately one of the most common web browsers, isn't just part of the problem, it's the whole problem, because not only is it maybe 60% of the market now using Internet Explorer, because it's obviously the browser that's put into Windows when you've loaded it up. It's just that there's several different browser versions as well, and this means unfortunately Microsoft have developed different kind of coding structures and rendering engines inside each different variation of Internet Explorer. So it doesn't mean you can just do it for one Internet Explorer and it's going to work on all versions, unfortunately. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you can accomplish this. Luckily, Internet Explorer 8 is probably the most compatible with most other types of web browsers. But as I said before, I didn't want to buy a PC to actually develop websites for PC because I design everything on my Macintoshes. What I have found though recently is there is a way to do this through what's known as VMware, which is like virtual machine usage, which means you just basically run Windows applications on your Macintosh like it was a PC. So what I have done is installed Internet Explorer 6 onto my Macintosh, and I can look at websites and look at the changes that occur as it happens. Okay, instead of making it on my Macintosh, uploading it, finding out it doesn't work, and then having to go through the headache of trying to figure out how to change it, I can actually do it instantly now. And over the next few tutorials that I add to these blogs, I'll show you how to do that. So what I have here, this is my favourite browser, Safari, because I use Macintosh. And as you can see, I hope my friend doesn't mind me using their website. Everything looks fantastic. Yeah, all the PNGs are working, they've got transparency, everything overlaps, nothing problematic with any of the actual edges or whatever. The text looks fine, it's all smooth, and even if you go through the process of going through each of the pages, everything looks lovely. Okay. That's not a problem, is it? Yeah, and that's why I have a problem, because I designed based on this and everything looks fine. All the text, all the fonts, everything lines up as you want it to. All the rollovers work as you want them to, etc, etc. Okay, and this is another website I've done. Again, looks fantastic on a Mac. And another one, again, looks fantastic on a Mac. Alright. What I do though, as part of my development, is I install other web browsers. For instance, I have Firefox. This is my friends on Firefox. Again, there's not that much difference. Yeah, sometimes you find a change in the form method, the way it's designed, because they use different ways of rendering the forms. But basically, everything looks the same. So, yeah, not a big problem. And finally, another one I've just started using is Google Chrome. And again, you'll notice there is a slight change in the height distance between that one. Okay, but apart from that, almost everything looks exactly the same as you would expect it to. Okay, so when you're designing on a Mac, you can see, make it on Safari, 9 times out of 10 it's going to look okay on every other browser. Okay, however, as I said, we have this problem with PCs. So what I've done is I've used this program called Crossover, and I've input Internet Explorer into my application folder. It takes a little bit of time to load up, so I've already started it up, and this is my friend's site in Internet Explorer 6 as it shows on the internet. Okay, There is a slight variation with the fonts. It looks a little bit odd here. It's just that it's compressing it to render it on my Macintosh. And there's a few other faults, like you'll notice here, part of the picture's missing. It's not really missing, it's just the way it renders it via the Macintosh rendering engine, because it's a PC application. Not that much difference, you see, on this one, but you'll notice to start with, there's an issue with the PNG, with the actual, let me just get a nice smoothing here. Okay, change here, it's just blocky, not very nice at all. Even though the one that's around here is still a PNG with a drop shadow, is better. The colours vary, okay, and also you'll notice all the fonts, they're not aliased, so it doesn't look so smooth and nice, okay. And you'll tend to find sometimes they look a little bit bigger than they should be, okay. Move down here to the form, yeah, you'll notice for some strange reason it automatically puts a scroll bar, even though you don't want a scroll bar, yeah. And again, some distancing issues with the actual submit button. But the biggest thing you'll notice though is like this happens, yeah, on the corners of some of the boxes, not this corner, but just the right bottom corner. The image I've used here to create the circle effect has gone wrong. Yeah. Now, this doesn't happen on any other browser apart from Internet Explorer 6. Okay, so that's an issue. So you have to think about how to resolve that issue. Okay. And that's basically it on this one. I'm going to show you another site. And this is my friends. It actually looks quite well on this site. No big issues at all. Apart from the only problem is that the fonts are not anti-aliased. Okay. And again, I'm just going to show you another quick site. Let's just go back to this one. Put this on Internet Explorer 6, sorry. See what it looks like. Again, the only big issue here, you'll notice I've got Arial, which is the font I've used to create the link. For some reason though, because it has not been defined, it jumps back to being Helvetic, some Times-based font or Roman font, whereas everything else is obviously some kind of sans serif font. Okay, most other things work though. Yeah. You can actually click on these and it opens them. And it's just an issue with the way that the font looks, but as I said before, that's just because of my rendering engine by my Macintosh. Alright, that's about it. Okay. Basically, I'm going to show you how to do all this rendering and changes on Internet Explorer 6 to make things work for the Macintosh. Sorry, not the Macintosh, the PC. Via a Macintosh. Okay. So the best thing to do is to install all these browsers, and also try and get this VMware installed on your Macintosh. And it helps you understand how to develop things for the web. Okay, on to the next tutorial.